In 1988, Rodney-O and Joe Cooley released the song Everlasting Bass. In that original, Rodney-O and Joe Cooley sorta kinda sampled Barry White's 1973 hit I'm Gonna Love You Just a Little More Baby. The song did not take off immediately. In fact, it never hit the Billboard Top 100. But over the years, the song became a hip-hop classic and was sampled by many artists, including Baby King, Snoop, NLE Chopper, and of course Future, Metro Boomin, and Kendrick Lamar, and others. According to WhoSampled.com, Everlasting Bass has been sampled by at least 89 songs. And in 2015, Rolling Stone named Everlasting Bass as one of the 20 greatest West Coast rap songs, released prior to NWA's 1989's album Straight Outta Compton. The song solidified itself in hip-hop history, and then 35 years later, after the song's released, Future and Metro Boomin used a sample of Everlasting Bass on their song Like That, featuring Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick's fiery lines took aim at Drake and J. Cole, sparking a new rap beef, and fans ate it up. It debuted at #1 and was nominated by the Grammys for Best Rap Song and Best Rap Performance. It was nominated by the BET Music Awards for Song of the Year. It won Best Collaboration and Featured Verse. It also peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and #1 in the hip-hop category. With such success and recognition, everything and everyone should be great, right? Wrong. Somebody did not get paid, and now he wants his money. According to Hip Hop News, TMZ, and some of everybody else, that somebody is Rodney-O from the group Rodney-O and Joe Cooley. Now remember, they made the record Everlasting Bass, and recently Rodney-O announced he had filed suit against the label Epic Records, accusing them of shafting him on the royalties. He wrote, "At first I was honored to have Future, Metro, and K-Dot use my classic Everlasting Bass, but they probably didn't know that the company has not lived up to the agreement. I'll do whatever it takes to stand up for me and all the pioneers in the game. Enough is enough," unquote. So wait, he's saying that he believes that they, Kendrick, Metro, and Future, didn't know. But then again, he's suing them. Go figure. Anyway, a representative for Metro Boomin told TMZ that they did obtain the rights in the sample and paid Rodney-O $50,000. Now, Rodney-O kind of agrees because he says that they sent him a song.
They sent me the song, and the song only had Future on it.
But it wasn't the full song. They only sent him the Future part of the song with no Kendrick on it. According to Rodney-O,
I didn't even know Kendrick was on it till a day before when somebody called and said, "Man, I heard Kendrick is on that record." I said, "No, I have the record. He's not on there." And the record the song was like 2 minutes and something. You know how it is now, 2-minute song. You think that's the whole song nowadays. The song that the record company sent me didn't have Kendrick Lamar on it.
He thought that Future was the full song. And he said people were telling him Kendrick was on the record, but he said, no. Kendrick is not on the record because he has the record, and that record has only Future on it. So according to Rodney-O, he approved the Future-only version. Even so, Rodney-O's complaint says he never received the promised royalties or a full writing credit. In fact, Rodney-O says he was left off the songwriting credits for the Like That Grammy nomination. Man, he ain't even get that. So Rodney-O is suing for willful copyright infringement, fraudulent misrepresentation, breach of contract, and other misconduct aimed at undermining his ownership and his legacy. But this right here ain't the first time Rodney had to file a lawsuit against a young rapper. In 2023, Rodney-O hit NLE Chopper for using Everlasting Bass in his song, Who the F Up in My Trap. That lawsuit is still in court. So Rodney-O is suing NLE Chopper, which is still in court. He is suing Future, Metro, Kendrick, and Epic Records, which is still in court. Now remember that twist I mentioned earlier in the video? Those lawsuits are not moving because of that twist I was talking about. And here it is. Rodney-O is suing NLE Chopper in one case, then Future, Metro, and Kendrick in another case, all because he says they stole his music. But in fact, the Barry White Trust is suing Rodney-O at the same time because they say the music that Rodney-O says was stolen from him, he stole from them. In that original beat for Everlasting Bass, Rodney-O and Joe Cooley allegedly sampled Barry White's 1973 hit, I'm Gonna Love You Just a Little More, Baby. Now, the lawyers for the trust don't fault Kendrick and the crew. They fault Rodney-O for allegedly using an uncleared sample back in 1988. The complaint demands money that Barry White's song made from its use in Everlasting Bass and also what it made in Like That. So this would mean that Rodney-O would get nothing. Now, according to Rodney-O, he didn't sample Barry White or anything. He made this all up himself.
When you guys made the song, you sampled Barry Everlasting Bass, sampled a Barry White track?
No, not at all. The whole song was produced by me when I was like 16, 17 years old. All keyboards, 808 drum machine, so no.
The big question is that if Rodney-O sampled Barry White in 1988, then why didn't Barry sue all those years ago? Now, some sources say that the song was not well known enough for anyone to even know the song existed. But if all of this mess wasn't enough, there's another twist. While the Barry White Trust is suing Rodney-O for taking their music, Rodney-O is also suing the Barry White Trust. He's suing them because they are suing him. According to Rodney-O in the lawsuit, the only reason the Barry White Trust is suing Rodney-O is because he is trying to sue Future, Metro, Kendrick, and Epic Records, as if it has nothing to do with the fact that the songs sound similar. So Rodney-O's taking the "I did it to them because they were trying to do it to me" defense. Rodney-O's lawsuit goes on to say the Barry White suit is really being used to coerce Rodney into surrendering ownership rights and accepting unfavorable terms under economic duress. So in other words, they're trying to pressure him. But let's pause for a moment and compare the actual music. All of this is alleged because I don't want nobody coming after me, because I don't make those big YouTuber dollars. I don't have all of those subscribers. But now that you come to think of it, this is a good time for you to press that subscribe button, hit the like, and hit the bell notification so you can get updates when they come available. Keep a brother going, all right? Now back to the matter at hand. Anyway, if you listen to Barry White's 1973 track and Rodney-O's Everlasting Bass, you'll hear that fat drive and bass line in both. Barry White's song has a soulful disco groove. Rodney-O chopped out the bottom end and reused it as the backbone of his rap track. According to Barry White's Trust in the complaint, that bass line is immediately recognizable, and they're dead serious about it. Now, fast forward to Like That. Metro pumped up the tempo, added trap drums, and pitched that same bass riff up a little bit, but it's definitely there. Even casual fans online have noticed it's virtually the same lick, just sped up. Indeed, Reddit listeners were pointing this out as soon as the song dropped.
Gotta find my joint up for this bitch.
In other words, Like That carries the DNA of both Rodney's track and Barry White's track. The songwriting credit lists reflect that Rodney-O and Joe Cooley are credited on Like That because of the Everlasting Bass sample. If Barry White's estate proves their case, Rodney-O might theoretically owe credit or money back to the Barry White Trust. It's a classic who sampled who's where. To be fair, Everlasting Bass itself was known to use Barry White's sample, and Rodney-O might say he cleared what he could at the time, or that it was an innocent old school sample flip. Sampling law in 1988 was Wild West compared to today. However, the white estate clearly believes that Everlasting Bass crossed the line and that, like that, continued the infringement. Rodney-O, meanwhile, is saying, hey, I did my part by clearing Everlasting Bass with Epic Record. They should pay up. What could come of these lawsuits? A lot, or maybe nothing, depending on how it's resolved. If the Barry White Trust wins and collects damages from Rodney-O, it could indirectly punish the performers of Like That by forcing a payout or a reallocation of credits. If Rodney wins against Future Metro, they might owe him royalties plus interest, or maybe the whole thing ends up in a messy settlement, which in my opinion is probably where it will end up. Anyway, just remember, these are allegations from the lawsuit and not facts yet. We'll need to see the court's ruling or settlement to know who's right under the law. But one thing's for sure, everyone's looking a little closer at their sample clearance agreements now. As Rodney-O told TMZ, he wants what's owed and to set the record straight. And the courts will have to decide if that's fair. We are going to see what happens, and I will keep you updated. Also, do me a favor and let me know if you want me to dig deeper into other cases. So you know how it goes. Subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so you can know when I drop the next update. This is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a very interesting case. But until then, I'll talk to you later. And like I always say, what it is, what it do. Don't forget, subscribe and check out my other videos.